Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Ty here, and today we're going to be reacting to Mark Rober's Backyard Squirrel Maze 2.0, the Walnut Heist. So I am super excited, but before we hop into it, make sure to watch his original video and subscribe to him as well as me if you want to, and yeah, let's go ahead and hop into it.
This is a bird feeder, and everything you see surrounding me in my yard is an attempt to protect it from thieving squirrels. If they want the bird seed and the lifetime supply of walnuts in this bank vault, they'll first need to pass through my 9-part obstacle course. By design, it's extremely challenging. It's meant to test their mental limits and their physical limits. I held back no punches, but I have to admit in hindsight, I once again completely underestimated my adversary. And truthfully, I never thought I'd be that crazy guy in the neighborhood obsessing over the squirrels, but they started it first when they would constantly pillage the birdseed from any bird feeder I would put up about a year ago. That led to me defending it with an obstacle course, which they handily defeated, and so after a year of ruminating on how to avenge that L with a majorly improved version, and then 2 months of planning, my buddy John and I got together for a 20-second build montage.
20-second build montage, bro. Let's go. Okay, this is actually looking cool. Okay. Bro. That's so abused, bro.
Here are the basic elements. For starters, here's their favorite bird feeder at the end of the course, and it's sitting atop Fort Nuts, the most secure walnut vault in the western United States. Now, since birds can fly, they can come and go as they please and eat all the food they want. But the only way for the squirrels to make it right here is by surviving my 9-part grueling obstacle course, which all starts right here. Climbing up this pole to this platform is the single gateway to enter the course. Every other pole you see has some kind of countermeasure to keep the squirrel from just climbing up and then entering the course halfway through. And so the first challenge is this casino, which may seem like an odd choice until you realize that as we were building the course, we also built them some cozy little squirrel houses. So we put them up in a couple different trees, and after a few days, it looked like they'd actually made some renovations. So I went to take a closer look. And sure enough, here's the before and here's the after. Even on the inside, they made some questionable decor updates. So while it might look like they were just using the houses to relax, or stretch, or look out the window, or like, wrestle, the satellite communications gear, and the tactical mission planning, and the mini vault to practice cracking a safe hold a completely different story. This gang of 4 high-end professional birdseed thieves were secretly planning to pull off an honest-to-goodness Mission Impossible Ocean's 11 style mega walnut heist, which is why I was going to protect the birdseed and walnut vault with the most state-of-the-art security measures, just like the casino did in Ocean's 11. So once in the casino, you'll see the slot machine and the classic Vegas buffet,
I probably should,
but with a warning. Take more than an ounce, and you're gonna have to deal with security.
Uh-oh.
Now that I got the squirrels on the run, they'll naturally want to jump to this bar, but there's a twist. Like it actually twists, which I think is going to give them some problems. But if they can figure this out, they'll jump into this crate. And the good news is that it's filled to the brim with their favorite food, which is walnuts. And I know this because I tested a bunch of different options, and they always went with the walnuts first. But the bad news is that once you add a little weight to the system, the helicopter starts moving, just like the helicopter for Mission Impossible. Oh, and we've got a baffle here at the top to stop a squirrel from just crawling along the wire from the fence. The helicopter stops next to this wall, which seems simple enough, except that the bricks randomly move and adjust themselves in and out. And of course, at any time, if they fall off, they gotta go back and start over the whole course from the beginning. After that, we come to their hideout. And this is when they'll switch from defense to offense, because it's where they hang out and plan. You can see it's sort of messy with their tools and their blueprints on the wall that show if they open the floor on the elevator, the elevator shaft leads them underground and into the sewers. Then if they crawl through the sewers, it will take them right to the control center for a second room that might look familiar. And just like in Mission Impossible, their goal is to go up through the ceiling to access the air vents. But there's no way to make it up there unless they type the password into the keyboard in the control room next door, like this.
Bro, this is so good. Dude.
And at that point, they can climb the ladder, and they're in the vents. And the vents are a total maze. There's lots of different twists and turns they'll need to navigate up here. So at any moment, if they're too lost, they can always exit the whole course by using the one-way Squirrel emergency exits, which also exists for any enclosed room on the whole course. And for the penultimate challenge, it's back down from the air ducts through this laser maze where they'll have to harness their inner Catherine Zeta-Jones. If they sufficiently touch any of the lasers, the metal base contacts and completes the circuit, which sends a signal from this microcontroller to a relay to a solenoid, which causes this pneumatic piston to fire, which slams this door shut for 1 minute. And because I'm basically certain they'll try and get to this point by climbing from the roof on top of this tube, I've placed a shield here with another enforcement squirrel to try and deter them. And so finally, if they made it through the laser maze and everything that came before it, they've made it to Fort Nuts. And as far as I'm concerned, if they crack the safe by giving this handle a little turn, they've earned every last walnut in this bank. After the course was set up, they could definitely smell the walnuts in the vault, and then you could see them sort of working things out from the fence line. And so after 2 months of prep work, it was time to test our extensive security measures against this formidable set of 500-gram rodents. But before we do that, I just want to mention, if you've always thought it would be cool to be able to build something like a squirrel obstacle course yourself, then I've got incredible news, because a few times a year I teach a month-long creative engineering course, and enrollment for the summer session is open for a short window right now. This class covers my entire engineering design process. I'll show you every step. Over the course of a month, you're gonna watch me design and create 3 builds from scratch, but the best part is I'm gonna guide you through finishing 3 creative builds of your own. So whether you're a complete beginner or an experienced engineer, the class has been designed to meet you wherever you're at and then level up your skills. So go to monthly.com/MarkRober or use the link in the video description and then sign up, and let's hang out making some cool stuff this summer. Now let's see some squirrels.
Dude.
And right out of the gate, we got him with the buffet.
We're gonna mess up.
And as he sticks his entire face into the sneeze guard, absent-mindedly reading the sign, you can see the exact moment he realizes he might have screwed up. And the slow-mo shows Rick just really laying himself out. Oh, by the way, that's Rick. All 4 squirrels have names, and more importantly, like any crew looking to pull off a heist, they all have specific roles to play. Starting with everyone's favorite, Fat Gus, who of course is the mastermind of this operation. On a heist, this is the role of the Frank Ocean or an Ethan Hunt. Now I just have to say, for those who aren't familiar, last year I named one of the squirrels Fat Gus because he loved to eat and was a little on the hefty side. But then halfway through, I noticed he had nipples, which it turns out means he was actually a girl, and a pregnant one at that. So it was just a whole PR disaster, and I switched the name to Fantastic Gus and rephrased a few other things, but to be honest, Fantastic Gus just doesn't roll off the tongue like Fat Gus. So I asked permission to use my preferred phrasing, and as you can see, I got full consent. Next up is Rick. He's the acrobat.
Bro, that's so...
the gutsy one. He's the go-to for any task that is going to require some athletic abilities. And then we've got Marty. He's the hacker. Anything with computers or bank safes, and he's your guy. But while he's really smart, he also scares pretty easy. And finally, we've got Frank with logistics. A good heist starts with a good plan. He's got the whole course memorized, and he's mapped it out and provided blueprints for the team. And so back to the course, we've got Marty the hacker here, who again is a bit skittish, so you can see he's coming in pretty cautious. But who can resist a buffet?
Oh my!
Once again, the real magic is found in the slow-mo. Eventually they realize security was just too tight at this casino, and Rick goes straight to the twist bar. Excellent. Ooh. Here's try 2.
Bro. Good try, good try. Bro, this thing is so good. And with some motivation
for the bird, he's like, I got this, I got this, I got this. I don't think I got this. The real-time replay on this one is great, too. And at this point, Fat Gus is like, I'm gonna need that crate of walnuts. Let me show you how it's done. Which turns out somewhat predictably.
Oh no.
Now really frustrated, acrobat daredevil Rick tries a totally different route. But you've got to admire that effort.
That's insane. Okay, bro, that squirrel is just insane.
Logistics man Frank knows the wire connected to the fence leads to the helicopter crate, so he tries sneaking in the back door and is also forced to retreat. And finally, Marty the hacker realizes if you're just scared and you run real fast, the bar doesn't have time to spin on you. And you can see Rick just replicating the strategy.
Okay.
So after about 2 days, all of them could cruise through the first part of this course about this fast, and Fort Nuts was already feeling less and less secure.
Nice, nice.
Fat Gus is like, wait, is this thing moving? I'm good. Here, Rick hypothesizes if he doesn't sit in the crate, it won't move. And here, he rejects that hypothesis with a legendary leap. And now's a good time to remind ourselves that squirrels are one of the few mammals that can survive a fall from any height. Because as you can see here, they make their bodies super flat to increase drag,
I forgot about that, bro.
becoming their own parachute. But
That's
just
so
in
insane.
case, you okay, Rick?
Yep. All good.
And Marty the hacker, Frady Cat, is just like, yeah, I'm super not down
Squirrels
with
are
this.
just too good, bro.
Eventually, it's the fearless leader, Fat Gus, who demonstrates the ride is definitely worth it. And soon you've got Frank and the rest of the gang following suit. Which leads us to the wall of 1,000 moving bricks. And first up, you got Fat Gus, who kicks things right off with a pull of his parachute.
What? Okay.
And Rick
Rip.
just barely misses. Skittish
Rip
Marty
and
gets
Shandy.
one taste of a moving brick and absolutely yeets himself into this tree. And while there were plenty of instances where a moving brick did dump the squirrels, causing them to start over from the beginning, what was even better was Marty psyching himself out in the anticipation that a brick might move, even though the wall wasn't powered on for any of these clips.
Bro.
And thanks in part to the dutiful supervision of Fat Gus, eventually, like all the other challenges so far, they got it down to a science where they could cruise by the wall fairly quickly. And now's a good time to mention, the squirrels weren't the only ones attempting the course. This is Splinter the Rat, and here he is with one of his buddies. He liked to make the rounds to all the houses each night, which sometimes were vacant, and sometimes they weren't. There goes Frank to chase him off his lawn. And you might have noticed the stuff in the house. The squirrels would gather nesting materials from various sources, or, somewhat hilariously, just steal from each other. Here's a bonus Santa Claus impression for all the Fat Gus fans out there. So from Splinter and his buddies to not at all creepy possums, there's a surprisingly constant variety of wildlife that passes through a suburban backyard, including a dumb dog who for some reason is much less interested in squirrels than he is my camera gear. Which is a lovely segue back to the squirrel hideout, where the heist was really just picking up steam.
Oh yeah, bro. This actually might be copyrighted. I don't know, bro. I would think. Bro, this is sweet, bro. Oh my gosh. Squirrel, bro. Let's go. Oh my. Okay. Yes. They kind of figured it out. Let's go. Bro.
And after Hacker Marty had accessed the computer and lowered the ladder, Fat Gus followed behind and joined him in the vents. But in the process, a critical tool dropped down, which led to a lovely recreation of an iconic scene.
Bruh. Okay, that's cool. That's cool, bro. Correct.
And as a side note, they figured out the exit door pretty quickly, and they functioned
Also,
as
my
a one-way
background is
door
great.
exactly as intended.
Just you guys know. It's
And
great.
now at the vents, it was Frank's time to shine. You can see here, he's just double-checking the actual air duct layouts to make sure they match the blueprints he's memorized.
Good,
and once
good,
he's
good.
satisfied, he steps up, and as you can see, he nails it first try. You can just sense his confidence
He's
here.
so good.
Contrast that with Marty, who's like, all right, I think it was a right, no, it was straight. Oh, was it left? Crap, I gotta go check the map again. And as a result, most of his runs would end up looking something like this. So here's Frank coaching him from the outside, and you can see Marty's a little defensive about it. So Frank hops in so they can work out their differences.
Wow.
And then with a little
toxic.
encouragement, he gets him going down the right way. All the while, Fat Gus continues to supervise. Focus, Marty. There you go. Which brings us to the laser maze.
Uh-oh.
Here's acrobat
bro.
Rick's first approach, and he's like, yeah, that's sus. And just as expected, he climbs on top of the tube, and he's like, yeah, I totally got this. When in fact, he didn't.
Okay, that wasn't
in real time,
that
it happens so
bad.
fast, it just looks like chaos. But if we slow down this second attempt, we can remind ourselves of how squirrels have mastered the laws of physics to always land on their feet.
That's just
Did you
crazy,
catch it?
bro.
The first is the locking of the head on a landing target in less than 300 milliseconds. If you go back and watch any jump from this video, that locking of their
Wow.
head is the first thing they always do.
Okay,
And the
that's cool.
second is using conservation of angular momentum like an ice skater to pull their arms and legs in and out at the right times to rotate fast and then hold in the right orientation. Combine those two tricks
cool,
with the
bro.
flat body parachute and extending their legs at the last minute to absorb the shock, and they are perfectly
squirrels are
adapted
just
for living
insane.
high in the trees. In
For
fact,
real.
squirrels have been around for over 30 million years, and they've had to evolve relatively little in all that time. So then Rick's like, fine, I'll use the stupid tube like a normal squirrel. What is this? Oh, see, I knew this was sus.
Bro.
And here's Frank, who just watched what happened and therefore is appropriately cautious.
That just jump scares them, bro.
But he hops right back on the saddle, and this time he nails it. And in the end,
job,
it feels
bro.
appropriate
What if they get
that the
stuck, though?
mastermind, Fat Gus, was the first one to make it successfully through the laser maze, and then to subsequently make it to Fort Nuts. I mean, how Fat
What?
Gus is this? Falling not just for one decoy nut, but for both of them. Which
Wow.
paves the way for Marty the hacker to be the one to crack the safe.
Wow,
And as you
bro,
can see
rip.
here, he's pretty stoked about it. And first, he just
No
checks it out.
way.
Like, yep, yep. This is just like the schematic showed. And then, the big moment.
Bro, he jumped down? Okay. Oh, wait, they have a net to get back up. It drops a net. Okay, that's cool. That is cool,
Once the
bro.
safe opened, these cargo nets unfurled, which just allowed better access to their loot. But interestingly, more often than not, after getting a walnut, instead of jumping off, they would go all the way back through the course. Here's Jumpy Marty exhibiting some real PTSD, even though I'd already turned off the whole system. So once again, the squirrels took the W, but as far as I'm concerned, they earned it. And I can't complain with how things turned out, because Rick buried all his
They're just so
extra
good
nuts
at
in the
parkour.
yard, Marty and Frank made up and rekindled their friendship, and Fat Gus got some long-sought quality time with the bird feeder. So everyone was happy. Well, almost everyone.
Rip that bird, bro. That
This
poor
is a
bird.
mechanism that can feed your dog with a
Alright. That was awesome, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to watch his original video once again. And yeah, just thank you guys so much for watching. This was an incredible video. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy. Make sure to smash that like button. We're going to go for 15 likes on this video. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. And as always, I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.